And Matty, this race is a reverse grid. We've taken the top 9 finishers from race 1 earlier in the day and we've flipped them around. So Kim Jane goes to pole. David Cedars jumps back to position 9. And in between, off all the familiar Ute suspects are up there and running.
That's exactly right. But have a look at third in the championship now. Nathan Pretty, he had big troubles in qualifying, was underweight, got sent to the rear of the grid after putting it on pole position. He starts out as 17th, so a bit of work for him to do.
Yeah, he got put to the rear, got to 17th in race 1 and starts from there for this second race. It's a full field. All 32 of the Utes are here. We have had qualifying. We've had race 1. David Cedars is the form man. He's racked up the points and jumped his way to second. Pretty's gone from being challenging Ryle Harris and on a roll with 2 round wins in the last 2 rounds to now fighting to just get back up there.
And Cedars, he was very quick in the first race and only reversing the top 9, so not so bad for him. We've seen that inversion can be up anywhere up to 20 cars, so he's still got a bit of work to do, but with the speed he showed this morning, I'd expect him to charge through the pack.
And with the way that the points are, Ryle Harris, reigning champion in car number 1. There he is, the tap-out Falcon. He starts 14th. He qualified,
really
qualified 19th, just didn't have any speed. Here is the points, just 7 points from Harris to Cedars. Pretty is still in the game. He's 3rd, but he's 28 behind now. And Reece McNally, the Stratco Commodore, is 4th in the points. So really interesting. This is round 6. This is the second race of the weekend for the Utes. It's Kim Jane and Chris Walton on the front row. The last round at Sandown saw plenty of angst, plenty of drama. One's gone early in the background and pulled off to the grass, but we're underway. Kim Jane makes the jump to turn 1. Craig Donnis makes a good jump as well. So the Commodores are 1 and 2. This is a 7-lap race. And the Ute guys tend to get a little bit wild. They do calm it back here at Bathurst, but on Saturday afternoon, the grand stage, plenty of people watching. Look, there's one in the grass already. I almost took myself out of it.
So on board with Pretty now. He's already fighting his way through the pack after starting from 17th, like we mentioned. But what a start by Kim Jane off the pole. Did that perfectly. And Craig Donnis able to slip into second. Bit of 2x2 action into turn 2. Always tough on the outside because the camber of the road actually goes away from you. So Pretty, he's out in the loose stuff as well.
You could see he was dropping ground. He was trying to get a move on Tony Longhurst in the 25 car, of course, the 2-time Bathurst 1000 champion, who is in his final race weekend. He's called time on his motor racing career. This is his last weekend. Tomorrow will be his last motor race. Look at this, Elliot Barber, points leader in the Rookie of the Year fight. We're on board with Nathan Pretty. You don't go too wide through there, and he knows too well.
Yeah, pretty sensible thing this, pulling in behind Barber, but have a look at these guys across the top of the mountain for the first time. They'll still be getting a bit of confidence up in their tyres with temperatures and pressures. But, loose through McPhillamy for a couple of Utes there, which is not the place you want the back end to be coming around.
And that was that car there, Adam Marjoram in the Auto 1 Commodore, first time at the mountain for the young Western Australian, and he was that guy who was really wide. Someone's got a door open through the
driver's side as well.
I think that was Ben Dunn who has got the driver's side door flailing. Look at this, Chris Walton down the inside in the Retco 4, trying to get a move on Craig Donnis, but Kim Jane is just starting to clear away. And James, in the past, this has been a Ford track. They've won a pile of rounds here compared to Holden. David Cedars has been strong here the last couple of years. Look at this for Ford power.
A bit of Ford horsepower at display there, but that was good awareness by Craig Donnis and Forrest Elbow there. Walton just stuck the nose in there, wasn't far enough up the inside, but have a look at him moving around through the chase. He's going to have the line into Caltech's chase now, so he'll take that position, using a bit of curve to get it done, and have a look at his teammate, Ryan Hansford. Got a run on Dondas as well into the final corner now. He'll have good position on Dondas, so Dondas in the space of Conrad Strait likely to lose a couple of spots. This isn't over with yet, though.
He manages to slot back in at least and get back in the queue before anybody else filled the gap. Kim Jane, margin at the line, is an even second. That's a nice, handy start for the former NASCAR champion, that 27 Commodore.
Stephen White has had an excellent opening lap, Noons. He's gone from 8th to position 5, so he finished second in the opening race. Cedars has had a bit of a tough opening lap. He's in position 12, so good opening lap for that Dunlop Super Dealer Ute, and he'll be looking to charge on, that's for sure.
Have a look at this, covering the line. This is Hansford just slotting it up the inside here. Makes Donnis go the long way. Little bit of a rub.
That was a bit cheeky by Hansford. Didn't quite give enough room to Donnis. on the outside there. So you've got to give racing room, you know. When you're in a braking zone, keep the car nice and straight. Don't crowd the guy left or right of you. So Donis, he's been beaten up a bit in this last sort of lap and a bit, but he's just got to settle down and keep it smooth.
Looks like they've started to settle into a bit of a rhythm. Remember, in the Ute Series, it's 35 points for a race win. This is an Auto 1 replay of the start. Pretty even, but Kim Jane got it rolling on the second phase, and Dondas was down the inside. To the right, we're on board the Milwaukee Commodore with Nathan Pretty. And this is not how he planned for his weekend to unfold. He's won the last 2 rounds, and he was trying to become the first driver to win 3 rounds in a row ever in this series. This is what you were referring to before.
Have a look at Harris.
Look at Ryle Harris assisting Adam Marjoram across McPhillamy Park.
They both go off, so he assisted Marjoram off, but also himself. So Harris under a bit of pressure this weekend. We're not accustomed to seeing him down in the mid-teens, so for whatever reason, he's having a bit of a battle on his hands this weekend at Bathurst. Exhaust is coming loose on Noel Edge's Falcon, so might come under look from the officials for that one.
Better than how he's raced one-ended off at high speed into the sandpit down at the chase, so I'm sure they'll look into that in race control. Here's the leader, Kim Jane. Oh, they're bumping. They bounce around on the run into the chase.
And Walton's closed the gap on Kim Jane significantly in this lap. So now move here at the chase.
Oh.
That's our championship leader, Harris.
And the guy who's second in the points, David Cedars.
So
he's got his teammate behind him here, Andrew Fisher in the Jesus Ford. He's teammates with David Cedars. Let's see if there's any teammate love given here. Oh, Nathan Pretty's in it. It's on now. He's got the rears locked all the way in. Somehow he pulled it up. Oh, there is a whack on the way through. Wayne Wakefield's down the inside of all of them.
So Pretty up the inside with the rears locked. He's got a fight on his hands at the moment.
Which one?
He's lost a couple of positions in that whole encounter, so he'll be a bit angry behind the wheel of that Milwaukee Commodore at the moment, but he's got to think of the championship as well. He's still in this battle, there's no doubt about that. He's got a bit of a run on Barber now in the Falcon, so nothing wrong with, I guess, the parity between these two cars this weekend. We've seen them pretty even so far in this race.
He's going to persist with this one on the outside of Griffin's. Barber gives him some room up over the curve. That's good stuff.
Good racing.
Yeah, sticks the move. That was really nice. Of course, a veteran of 14 starts in the Bathurst 1000. Didn't get to the podium, but was a regular, reliable top 10 performer. He was always on board with Holden in a variety of its different teams over the years. But Walton is starting to go a-hunting. Dorenko Ford, the former Rookie of the Year, is just starting to chip away at Kim Jane. He's almost at the bumper bar of that 27 Commodore.
He's definitely got a bit of speed on Kim Jane at the moment. Interestingly, that Stephen White hasn't been able to progress any further than 5th at the moment after that stellar opening lap we saw. But Walton, he's got the fastest lap of the race by just about half a second at the moment, so he definitely has speed to burn in that Renko Falcon. What he'll be trying to do now is get a best run onto Conrod Straight as he possibly can. Really tuck in behind Kim Jane, try and get all the benefit of the slipstream from the car in front, but I don't think he's going to be close enough to do anything about Kim Jane to Caltech's chase this time by.
Just the one win this year in terms of race wins for Kim Jane. He won the opener in Townsville in North Queensland. Chris Walton, in a little while between drinks for him, hasn't picked up a race win in 2013 so far, but he looks menacing.
Don't those Utes move around a lot through the kick nudes? Like, they're bucking and bronking like a good Ute should do, almost. On board now again with Pretty into the chase. So behind Wayne Wakefield. We saw him lose that position to Wakefield about this time, 1 lap ago. Can he regain that position?
And Nathan's not having the best time of things. He came into this weekend with a broken toe, went on holidays, took the family away, ended up with a busted toe. Luckily, though, clutch pedal, foot, not throttle, throttle, pedal, foot.
Not the gas pedal. That's the one you got to worry about, Nudes.
Yeah, that's the one you use here more than pretty much any other. As they climb the mountain one more time. Tomorrow is actually a really important occasion for the Ute Series. It's their 300th championship race. This category's been around now for over a decade. It's full of cars, they're full of colour, they're full of life, they're full of sponsorship. It's grown into a really competitive series where you don't just turn up and win in this thing, even if you come with a resume.
Yeah, that's pretty cool that the Ute Series is going to have their 300th race tomorrow. And like you say, they always provide a full grid of cars, plenty of entertainment. So, oh, look at Pretty. Now, he's been persistent with that outside line at turn 2. That time, he, I think, got a little bit into the marbles. Back end stepped out on him. So, he's up the inside in the cutting. So he's got his hands full in this race, Nathan Pretty. I think there might be a bit of steam under that helmet at the moment, Nunes. What do you reckon?
Just a little. Yes, that's probably the best call. He is fighting for this championship. It's only round 6. There's still a couple of rounds to go for the Ute guys. So there's lots of points on the table. 175 for each weekend, because not just points for the races, but they get points for qualifying. That's very, very crucial on how this championship unfolds. But Nathan Pretty, last year, a DNF on the Gold Coast really robbed him of any chance to challenge later in the season. But he is in a war here with Elliot Barber and Wayne Wakefield, who's come back to racing this year after quite a few years away. Fight for the leads on. Walton's down the inside at the elbow. And now it's a drag race. Which car do you want to be in for the run to the chase?
Well, I think if I'd probably like to be in the Falcon at this point in time, Nunes, because if he can hold on around the outside of the kink, he's got the line under brakes into the left-hander off Celtic's chase. And look at the top end of that Falcon. He's just starting to edge, but he's
side by side, no one lifted. Look at the thing sideways
around. Through the kink. How do you like that?
Oh, Walton's got it done. He'll push it wide. He cuts Jane to the grass.
Oh, Kim won't be very happy about that. He would have expected...
Just so eager, trying to take advantage of both of them. He nearly fired it off as well.
So Kim Jane, I think he would have expected Walton to give him a bit of racing room on the exit of that corner. But Walton had other ideas, and now Dondas under attack from Stephen White. He's got to run on him on the front straight, so it's all going on at the front of the field here. And Stephen White's been coming on strong in the Ute Series in the last couple of rounds. He's engineered by former V8 supercar driver and former Dunlop Series champion, in fact, Simon Wills, who looks after him in this Dunlop Super Dealer Commodore. But Dontas is trying to tuck in now for this climb back up the mountain. It's been a great year of Ute racing. There's so much left. We've had 3 round winners from 5 rounds, 9 race winners from 16 races. The competition has been really, really strong. And Walton, we've said it before when we've called these races, he is not afraid to use the bumper. And he and Nathan Pretty, they got stuck into it at Sandown, and it got a little bit fierce, because there were words said after a couple of races there, and Walton doesn't mind throwing it up the inside and making a move. And Kim Jane probably should have expected that to be coming. And have a look at these two, our 2 championship contenders, Ryle Harris and David Cedars. They're going at it. Currently 10th and 11th in this race, so not where they'd like to be. But at the moment, Harris, and this is a move... it's Tony Longhurst down the inside. Oh, yes, we do. Well called. You knew that was coming. But Andrew Fisher gets away. They're fighting for a spot on the outside of the 10. This is what I was talking about.
Walton uses curb and grass. He gets it airborne. He's fired it up the inside. Kim's running out of road. He's releasing the steering lock. He's sideways as well. And they're both going to the grass here. So, yeah, Kim, I think he'd be a little upset that Chris didn't give him... Oh, no, big moment. Oh, really lucky to keep it out of the tyres, Nunes. Over the top, yeah. That is, yeah... Knowledge would have given himself a bit of a fright, I dare say. Yes, second one for the day. And this is further around on the Auto 1 replay. Oh, Jeremy Gray gets to the wall with the right rear. So they're not mucking around today, Nudes. They're into it, which is what we've come to expect. What we've come to expect from the Ute guys over the years, especially the second reverse grid race that always turns it up for us. And look at this in the background. This is still going. Championship rivals, Harris and Cedars. These two have been the dominant men at Bathurst in the last couple of years. Look at this. Cedars to the grass, Harris the long way around. None of them want to give an inch. Nope. Have a look at that tap-out car. It's got
plenty of dings on it at the moment, and he's copying a few more from Cedars. Trouble here for...
Now, this is Troy Wilson, who we saw race Carrera Cup here last year. He's a former West Coast Eagles AFL player that's turned his hand to motorsport.
Well, he'd be used to the biff and barge,
well,
wouldn't he?
Hip and shoulders and the like. He hasn't kicked it through the big sticks, though, with that one. Did I mention that Hawthorn won the AFL Grand Final?
Oh, really? No, I didn't see that.
I've been waiting all weekend to drop it in. I won't sing the theme song, but gee, I want to. Oh, look at this. Harris and Cedars, side by side up the hill, they touch. I reckon they've touched again there. That's 2. You reckon they'll get 3 by the next corner?
Well, I reckon there's every chance of it. So these two, look at, Harris has got the side still hanging off his car. Cedars has to relinquish that position. But change up there in the front.
For a second. Jane around the outside, Walton on the inside. Hansford waiting to pick. Which way do I go? Who do I go for? Walton's his teammate, but Walton in the past has given Hansford a bit of a bump, so I'm sure he's allowed to return serve. Top of the hill, though, Kim Jane back in front, and Stephen White's in the game. So it's a 4-way fight for race 2 in round 6 of the Auto 1 V8 Ute Series. The Holden faithful at the top of the hill are liking this. Walton looking. No, don't go in there. Don't go in there.
Saw it. Tried to give him a bit of room just in case Walton thought about it. But look at these guys. Hansford's in there, White's in there. Anything could happen in these closing 2 laps.
And look at them all stacking up. More of them are there. Dontas is in there. Jesse Dixon's in there. Reece McNally's the last car in the queue.
Here we go.
Walton, he's going for this one again. No, now, that'll hurt him on the exit here for his terminal speed down Conrod Straight. That might give Kim Jane that little margin that he needs when he gets to the chase.
I think Walton will have to worry about his teammate Hansford now. He'll have a good run on him, that's for sure, coming down longer straight, Australasian Motorsport, Conrod Straight. Can Hansford do anything about Walton? But Kim Jane's got a bit of breathing space, so he'll be happy about that. Stephen White just sitting there in 4th.
Oh, Walton, right front slot, left front slot. He still makes it to the corner on the apex.
He loves using that curb at the chase, that's for sure. But that might hurt his exit now. And Hansford might have a look up the inside. He sticks the nose out. But Walton very committed under brakes into the final corner. So last lap. And Cedars has got in front of Harris, so
that's still going as well.
That's pretty vital, important for the championship.
Now Kim Jane has won here before in the Ute Series. He won a race back in 2009. He's been the runner-up here on 2 occasions. It's been a while between drinks on the mountain, but he's got himself a little bit of a margin here.
So what Kim will be doing now is just focusing on hitting all his points, making no mistakes, especially across the top of the mountain, to give himself as much breathing space as he can coming onto Conrod Straight. But have a look at White, having a look around the outside of Hansford into turn 2, thinks better of it as they pull out of turn 2 for the final time. White definitely all over the back of Hansford, so the battle for 3rd isn't over yet either.
Just wanted to soak up a little bit of the growl of the V8 Utes. Jane's got a bit more margin across the top here. This should be a winning margin, but you never got a winning margin on the last lap of Bathurst when you're at the top of the hill. It's so tight between these cars. They've done a great job on the parity between the Holdens and the Fords.
How cool is that shot?
That's new this year,
yeah,
and that
cool.
really tells you, it shows you how fast all of these categories are. At the top, look at Walton through the grass. He looks a little bit faster through this area. He gets a little bit back on Kim Jane.
Yeah, and I think Kim might have had a bit of a mistake coming down the hill because that gap has definitely closed. So Walton got to get the best run you can onto Conrod Straight to have any shot of a win in this race.
He's still in the game. He has not been able to have the margin that he had up Mountain Straight. He's still got a margin, but it's not as big as it was. Final time on Conrod Straight. There'll be one more race for the Ute boys tomorrow. They've still got a couple of rounds to round out the season. The title fight's alive. We know that they all want to win because they showed it in this race. But Kim Jane, if he doesn't make a blue at the chase, he should have this one.
This is really the second last passing opportunity for these guys. So far, so good for Kim Jane. He gets through the chase nice and cleanly. So I think barring any mistake in the last corner. Kim Jane's going to hold on for this one. What a great race it's been. Plenty of action.
One more turn, James. I think he's got it done. He does. It's been a good fight. He and Walton were at it all race, but at the end of 7 laps, pencil in one for the general. Kim Jane leads home race 2, so it's 1-1 between Ford and Holden in the V8 Utes here at Bathurst. Nathan Pretty has still not given up. He's still fighting with Elliot Barber, and for all of this work, he's going to finish in 16th and have made up 1 spot.
Yeah, well, those two were battling all race long, so probably a pretty frustrated Nathan Pretty, fair to say. But Kim Jane, well done on the victory. Good way to end your Saturday here at Bathurst.
Ryan Hansford 3rd from Stephen White, then Craig Donis. Gary McDonald back in the series in 8th from Gary Maxton, the veteran. And David Cedars, the race 1 winner, rounded out the top 10. Plenty more from the mountain. Stay with us after the break.